A story for you. The Crooked Man. A young man moves into a new apartment, but strange things begin to occur. In search for the previous tenant for answers, we travel to various abandoned locations, encountering strangers, each with their own stories to tell. Each turn leaves us with more questions, and at every corner lurks a crooked man. There was a crooked man, and he walked a crooked mile. He found a crooked sixpence upon a crooked stile. He bought a crooked cat, which caught a crooked mouse, and they all lived together in a crooked little house. We are David, a 25-year-old man, down on his luck and a little depressed, freshly moved into his new apartment that his two friends, Paul and Marion, found for him. Thanks, you guys. Take care. Guess I should tuck in for the night. Hello? New phone, who dis? Shirley? Is that you? David is woken up by the faint sound of a man crying. Hey bro, you good? But upon investigating,
Go away, loser.
none of his neighbors are the cause. I'm out. David brushes this off as a prank from his buddy Paul and discovers a note under his bed. Ever since she went away, I spent every night clutching my sweaty pillow and breathing. I can't say goodbye. What other choice do I have? A note is seemingly left behind by the previous tenant, who twisted and turned over a woman who left his life. The hell is that coming from? We get a call reminding us to visit our mother. We've been putting off our visits lately. Hey mom, you been okay? David's mother suffers from a form of dementia or Alzheimer's and mistakes David for somebody else. Eventually, her mood takes a sharp turn and she labels him as an intruder. As David begins to leave, his mother has a blink of lucidity and recognizes him, begging him to stay and help her. She doesn't want to be alone. Oh hell no. Under the sink lies the Mother Goose rhyme about the crooked man. David is again woken up, this time by a child crying. Hey little boy! Huh, nobody here. I'm helping myself to the exit. Hey, Paul? What's up, man? You sound sleepy. Yeah, I kinda been up all night. Do you know who lived here before me? No. You checked with the landlady? The landlady tells us she doesn't remember much about the previous tenant, only that he was a man about our age, and he suddenly left everything behind a month ago. The writing on the mirror, these voices, the TV, the coffee, the footsteps. It's like a poltergeist lives here. I guess it's not a big deal. Nobody would care if I was haunted and killed. But all this has me curious. The last guy who lived here, did this stuff happen to him too? What was he like? David finds another scrap of paper belonging to the previous tenant, an address labeled "Our Special Place." What in the world? Afraid, David spends the night at Paul's place, and in the morning we set out on our quest to find the former tenant to question him about the happenings in our room. We arrive at the address from the note, an abandoned hotel. Nothing but dust, and eerie silence lies within, with almost every door locked. Nobody has been here for quite some time. The previous tenant leaves us another letter. She loved the pretty room. With its big mirror, she would wonder what to wear for dinner. But now, it's just me. I thought it might help to come here, but it didn't. There's only emptiness. Mysteriously, another person roams these empty halls. Her name is Sissy. She used to come to this hotel and is looking for something important to her. A little box decorated with rubies. She isn't leaving until she finds it. We agree to help her find it as we search for the previous tenant. In the room behind the front desk, we unlock a latch to the cellar. Holy crap, dude, you good? Were you locked down here? Oh my god! My leg! Oh yeah? You like feet, huh? Yeah? Huh? What the hell was that? David thinks about Cece, worried for her safety. The floor collapses under Cece. She is afraid of the dark and danger, but she is still adamant on finding what is most important to her. The little box given to her by her boyfriend. You again? No way you survived that. We stumble upon ashes of photos, along with the words, "I don't need her memory anymore, because I know she won't come back. I have to erase everything, good and bad, and all the memories inside me too." The previous tenant tried to burn his memories of his relationship in order to cope with his loss. David is reminded of his own relationship, recently ended with Shirley. He still can't get over it, and his friend Paul teases him about being a sissy for being unable to let go of his love. There's no way. I dropped your ass down a pit. At this rate, you'll catch me. If that's the case, then how about this? The hell is that thing? And why is it chasing me? Following a trail of blood leads us to Sissy, who caught her arm on something. She looks defeated. She's wandering the hotel all alone, falling down and hurting herself, all to find a measly little box. David says, "Measly, but it's important to you, isn't it? A memento from someone you love." That someone she loves turns out to be her ex-boyfriend, who left her because to him, her only quality was being too kind. Afterwards, she lost a box within this hotel, their special place. After some time, Sissy couldn't forget her ex-boyfriend and returned to this hotel for the memories and to search for the gift important to her. Due to the loss of blood, Sissy grows tired and opts to rest a bit. Sissy's story about her relationship heavily mirrors David's own relationship with Shirley. Shirley left him because she considered David to be too nice, always such a yes man, just going with the flow, lacking of personality. She considers David not to be kind, but indecisive, and unworthy of her trust. The moment David realized he wasn't being loved all along, he felt nothing but worthless. And maybe Sissy is feeling the same way. Outside, we find the decorated box and the fountain, and return to Sissy to give her the good news. Back off! Sissy, he won't let up. You gotta leave. I'll handle this. I picked up a little some after our last rumble. This is as far as you go. I won't let you hurt Sissy. After our victory, we find Sissy questioning why all of this is happening. She at least just wanted to have a memory of her ex-boyfriend, but blames the monster attacking her because she's a wimp who can't get over her breakup. David tells her, what's wrong with being a wimp? Not being able to forget him. Is that such a bad thing? David explains that he too was dumped. He was dejected, and even now it pains him. He always hated himself. How he was a coward. A miserable excuse for a man. His friends got married, and he hated himself more and more. But in hindsight, Sissy, maybe it's not that bad to keep thinking about someone you cared so much for. In fact, maybe it's a wonderful thing. And so, along with Sissy, David says he too won't give up. We give her the box, and it opens with the same key we found in our apartment, the one left behind by the previous tenant. Inside, another address, one step closer to the man we're looking for. We part ways with Sissy and press on. We're led to another abandoned location. This time, a law school. Investigating inside, we're attacked by the Crooked Man on multiple occasions. He has followed us all the way from the hotel. Many hopes were fulfilled here. Many youths were blessed, but I didn't receive that blessing. What's the problem with me? I knew there was something I lacked, but I didn't want to admit it. I wanted to be woken up, to be told I'm a have-not. The previous tenant seemed to have went to law school, but lacked the ability to become a fully fledged lawyer. We meet a young man named D, a law student who used to study at the school. D's biggest dream is to become a lawyer, and has been struggling to pass the bar exam, having failed several times. D looked up to his supportive teacher, but we later discover that his teacher mocked him behind his back for his terrible grades and low intelligence. D becomes angered and confused. David's story relates to D's in the sense that David's greatest dream was to become a pilot. David is colorblind and lied about it to gain entry to flight school. When he was on the brink of graduation, he was discovered to have deceived his peers, and everyone ostracized him for it. He could not be a pilot because of his eyes, and deep down, this makes him deeply depressed. But David tells D to avoid being idealistic and to not narrow his roads in life so he can focus on better things for himself. D thanks David for helping him move on and gives him another paper with an address before they part ways. After a lengthy drive, we arrive at an abandoned hospital with the Crooked Man still on our tail. I sat in a chair and watched the bed like always, only there was no one in the bed anymore. Just what have I accomplished? I still can't answer that question. My mother told me I was born here. She called it a place of happiness, but for me, it's a place of regret. I wish I could kill my child self. Back when I was pure, when I still thought everyone loved me. The previous tenant has lost someone dear to him in this hospital and has grown to be severely depressed and filled with regrets. We meet a little boy named Fluffy, who wanders the hospital because his mother told him to wait here, but she never returned to him, so we look for his mother together. Whoa. GG, Crooked Man. Hey, Crooked Man, I got something for that ass. Yeah, who's in trouble now? Fluffy, get behind me. Boy! Fluffy, hit the deck! Fluffy's mother never shows up, and Fluffy believes he's abandoned and unwanted. Saddened, he runs away on his own to the police. David, after not having slept much this entire time, is currently fatigued and gets crippling headaches, and questions just exactly what is he doing here, wandering ruins, risking his life, and looking for a man he doesn't know. He begins to think depressing thoughts. Nothing will change for him by doing this. David hallucinates his own mother, crying within the hospital. Why did you abandon me, Davy? I hate hospitals, yet you abandoned me. I'm sick, so you just left me? My own family couldn't stand me anymore? No, you're wrong. Who are you? My mom couldn't possibly be here. It hurts, Davy, just like it did then. David, in the past, cracked under pressure, stress, and depression, and nearly murdered his own mother. David's mother has been suffering from a brain tumor, the root cause of her behavior and memory problems. and has been put in the hospital to monitor for a potential operation. David's father left the family long ago, and he feels that he abandoned his mother in the hospital. His life closely mirrors the previous tenant, who's been leaving him notes of his own experiences in life. They are very much alike. A breakup, broken dreams, a shattered family. David says, my wishes never come true. My dreams, love, and even family all go away. I can't have anything that's not crooked. What exactly have I been searching for all this time? I don't have to look anymore. It's obvious now. There was only one option from the very beginning. David, where you at, brother? We're worried sick. The abandoned hospital in Stafford. So far. I'm on my way. Don't go anywhere, okay? Don't come. Please. Don't. Just leave me alone. Your friend is important to you, isn't he? Go see him. He's your friend, right? Go on, save him. Mr. David's waiting for you. Hey! Paul, stop messing around. Who have you been talking to? David, forget about me, Paul. Just leave me alone. Come on, Dave. Don't be like, step back. I'm hopeless. I keep walking and walking, but I see nothing. I'll never, ever be happy. I'm a crooked man, no matter what. That's what I'll be, and those are the only things I'll have. David, what's behind you? Agony. Living is literal agony. Nothing will go how I want it. Get off, David! Don't worry, David. I got you. Stop! Paul! Stop it! Paul saves David, and they talk about what's been going on. Paul reveals that he possesses a sixth sense, able to see things other people can't. He explains to David he too saw Sissy, Dee, and Fluffy, and that they are imaginary. However, their stories are real fragments of the tenant's troubled past. Sissy represented his breakup with his girlfriend. Dee represented his failure in becoming a lawyer, and Fluffy represented how he felt abandoned by his family when his mother died. Because the tenant's story is so similar to David's, their consciousnesses aligned. David receives one final address and decides to go for closure. Otherwise, he feels the crooked man will follow him forever. An old, abandoned home. I recalled the rhyme of the crooked man. All he could do was live in a crooked house. I was the same way. Everything I wished for ended up crooked. My dreams, my love, even my family. How did the crooked man live? Was he sorrowful in the depths of despair? Such a life has no meaning. The hotel, the school, the hospital. It was the same at all of them. My saddest memories wouldn't go away. Writing wouldn't calm down my heart. In the end, my festering heart just oozes more, and I tear up the paper. Mine is an empty existence. I have nothing to leave behind, not even words. Out of cigarettes. I need a smoke. The tenant's name is revealed. Duke McGahan. Crooked man. The tenant. He's up there, isn't he? I'll be seeing him. This is the end. I'm not gonna be like you. As much misery as I encounter, as painful as it may be, I'll keep living on. So, fade. And farewell. Duke. We walk such similar paths. The crooked man haunted both of us. And all this time you were trying to help me, telling me not to follow in your footsteps. Thank you, Duke. Rest in peace. David's mother had the operation for her tumor to be removed. She awakens and remembers her dear boy. David apologizes to his mother for the hardships he placed upon her. She holds no ill will and is proud of David. Having David as a son was her greatest happiness. Don't focus on the sad things, and you're sure to notice all the happiness hiding around you. Davy, I'm thirsty. Can you bring me some water? Shirley returns to David, asking for his forgiveness, and wishes to mend their relationship. David is happy to have her back. You know what I think? The crooked man had a crooked body and only crooked things, but I'm sure he was happy, living in his crooked house. Here lies a summary of all the alternate endings. Bad End 1. What a sissy. Consoling Sissy and telling her, please don't cry, instead of telling her, what's wrong with being a wimp? Sissy gets dragged into the hotel. David is locked outside and blood leaks under the door. She is killed by the crooked man. Bad End 2. Never, never give up. Telling Dee to never give up, instead of, that's life, isn't it? In a fit of rage, Dee stabs David, and the crooked man kills Dee. The crooked man says,
It wasn't me. It was you. You killed them. And yourself. David.
Bad End 3. Goodbye, my friend. If Paul tries to persuade the possessed David not to commit suicide, he will fail, and David will state that no one understands him. David then shoots himself in the head. Bad End 4. Not your fault, David. If Paul decides to take the gun from David, the two struggle, and David accidentally shoots Paul, killing him. David then comes back to his senses, realizes what he's done, and takes his own life.